A gate manufacturing business in Casey County destroyed by the weight of the snow.
A Lexington arts community is planning an emergency meeting. They're fearful the governor's budget won't include money for them.
After weeks of speculation, it's official. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray will run for Senate.
This is WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Barbara Bailey.
And I'm Bill Bryant. Welcome to WKYT News.
The race for Kentucky's U.S. Senate is heating up. This morning, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray made it official, filing to run as a Democrat in the race.
If he makes it through the primary, he would be taking on Republican Senator Rand Paul, assuming he's the GOP nominee in the November election. WKYT Sean Moody was there as Gray talked about his decision, and that is our top story at noon. Sean?
Lexington Mayor Jim Gray ended weeks of speculation when he came here to the Capitol to file to run for Senate. He said his campaign would be based on building people up and ending gridlock. Mayor Gray came here to the Secretary of State's office around 10:15 this morning to make his candidacy official. Around that time, he also launched his new campaign website and put up a YouTube video talking about why he says he should be Kentucky's next senator. He said that the American dream is slipping away and that Washington isn't helping.
Washington offers dysfunction and gridlock. And Senator Paul confuses talking with getting results. He offers ideas that will weaken our country at home and abroad.
Just a little while ago, a campaign advisor with Senator Rand Paul issued a statement. It did not mention any of the Democratic candidates by name, but did say he hoped that the voters would remember his work to balance the budget, the fight against what he called the president's war on coal and the Affordable Care Act, and also said that the senator has returned more than $2 million to Kentucky taxpayers from his office budget. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Now, a number of other people also filed to run as Democratic candidates for the Senate today. They are Jeff Kinder, Ron Leach, Tom Reckenwald, Grant T. Short, and James R. Gould. Now, that's in the Republican and the Democratic primaries there, those candidates. Now, the polls are open this afternoon in the city of London. Voters are deciding if alcohol sales should be allowed. That is, whether they will be expanded. Alcohol sales are already legal at restaurants in Laurel County. If the measure passes, it would expand the sale of alcohol to stores. The polls in the London city limits will be open until 6 o'clock tonight.
Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin is set to unveil his 2-year state spending plan tonight. The governor is already calling for the state to generate more money to fix shortfalls in public retirement systems, but says he has no plans to raise taxes. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy is in Frankfort now with a preview. Kristen.
Representatives with LexArts will be keeping a close eye on the governor's budget address tonight. They are fearful that that budget won't include the amount they're used to receiving.
The Kentucky Arts Council disperses several $1 million in funding throughout the state. The council and one of its Lexington recipients, LexArts, worry Governor Bevin's budget doesn't include funding for them. The governor told the Associated Press he's going to fix the multi-billion-dollar pension shortfall without raising taxes and without borrowing money. LexArts president and CEO Nan Plummer hopes it's not at the expense of organizations like hers.
If the budget is cut for the arts here in Kentucky, it will hurt not only arts organizations, but lots and lots of individual artists who work for those organizations, who work through those organizations, and it will hurt the citizens of Kentucky because what the Arts Council does to keep awareness of the arts high will fade.
They will be holding that emergency meeting here at 5:30 tomorrow in Lexington. Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Now, LexArts has invited local representatives to attend as well. They're expecting close to 200 tomorrow night. President Obama is proposing new legislation this afternoon that will help more Americans save for retirement. The president's ideas will be outlined in the 2017 budget, which he will submit to Congress in February. Among his ideas, offering tax credits to small businesses that enroll employees in retirement plans, requiring companies to offer plans to part-time workers, and making it easier for companies to bring down expenses by participating in multiple employer plans.
Well, the morning rain has pushed on out of the bluegrass, and it's left behind some much colder temperatures. They'll be dropping this afternoon. We can expect a chill in the air, it looks like, for the next few days before a weekend warm-up. Here's WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris in our First Alert Weather Center.
And here's that front pushing on through. Still some showers left over in the mountainous regions down in southeastern Kentucky. You can see that on the Defender radar network. And we're working our way southbound. Across 119, if you make your way through the Kaywood community and also go off into Harlan, Whitesburg in that mix as well. This area right through here, Middlesboro, Pineville, really getting some heavy downpours at this moment. That area is going to see this for the next couple of hours. I'd say 3 or 4 p.m. is when it all moves on out. Jellicoe Mountain, if you're heading southbound, 75 off into Tennessee, that's where you're going to be running into some pretty heavy rain too. Span out, here is the front. The front has made its way through about 2/3 of our region. Back behind that, you're getting those winds out of the northwest. And what that is doing is not just drying us out, but it's also cooling us off. Check out these temperatures. We're 38 in Lexington, 36 in Richmond. And why that's significant? Because this morning we're at 47 and 48 degrees. And we talked about it this morning. You better have your coat by the afternoon because it is going to chill off, and that's what you're seeing. Down south, we're still in the 40s. That's because the front has not pushed through just yet, but you guys will feel that chill by about 4 or 5 p.m. 36 cooling off. We'll talk more about this because I think tomorrow is a colder day, but that's going to be the coldest day in the forecast. Start to see things go up towards your weekend. I'll have that in just a few minutes.
All right, those temperatures all over the board. Thank you, Micah. Owners of a southern Kentucky business say they will be rebuilding after snow caused their manufacturing facility to cave in.
Now, it happened at the Scott Gate Company on Kentucky 49 in Casey County. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is in Liberty now with a look at the damage.
I'm standing in what was the rear doorway of the Scott Manufacturing Company. You can see how the building bowed and then collapsed when it came down about 1 o'clock Saturday morning. Now, the owner says he believes the snow drifted to one area toward the middle and then came down, causing the entire structure to come down. The building is 40,000 square feet and worth about $500,000. The owner says not only was the building destroyed, but what was inside was either damaged or destroyed.
It just destroyed everything. A lot of the tools, the forklifts, where the building came down on it, where they was on the inside.
The owner says this was their main manufacturing facility. They made farm gates and other farm equipment. He says that they do believe they can get back in operation, but he says to get completely back to business could take as long as several months to 6 months. In Casey County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Thank you, Phil. And the owner says he did not have insurance on the building. A federal appeals court has rejected a request from the coal industry to delay new rules on dust monitoring in underground mines.
The National Mining Association and several coal companies asked the court to halt the implementation of a rule that's to take effect on February 1st. That rule will increase the number of air samples taken in underground mines. Democratic and Republican presidential candidates continuing to make a big push for Iowa voters less than a week now before the state's caucuses. We'll have the latest from the campaign trail. It's next on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, a growing list of celebrities lending a hand to help with the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. We'll have details coming up on WKYT News at noon.
When winter is at its worst, that's when WKYT calls a First Alert Severe Weather Day, keeping your family safe with the power of the Defender Radar Network and the entire First Alert Weather team, plus continuous coverage on air, on WKYT.com, and wherever you are with our news and weather apps. Because when the snow starts falling, it takes an experienced team to stand for you when the weather gets tough. First Alert Severe Weather Days, only on WKYT.
While some airports offer a few flights to a few places a few days a week, Louisville International offers daily flights to more of the places you want to go. You can get there from there, eventually. Or you can see where we can take you. Visit us today.
Regain your bathing independence with one-day bath by America's Window. Our walk-in tubs provide a safe and secure bathing experience with a low step-in and easy access. Hydrotherapy soothes muscles and improves circulation. Your walk-in tub can be installed in your existing bath space in as little as 1 day. Take advantage of our Winter Wonderland sale and get 60% off labor on your new walk-in tub with 100% financing and low monthly payments. Call right now.
What do these women have in common? They are the staff of Ageless Medical Weight Loss. They've lost a combined 1,300 pounds. The team at Ageless will understand your struggles and celebrate your victories. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
My phone rang at home and it was Bill going, "Hey, what would you think about teaming up?"
We were both good at doing what we knew how to do.
We were not businessmen. We were landscapers. The first two accountants just said, "I don't know what to do with you guys."
One of our consultants connected us with Traditional Bank.
Traditional Bank has always had a team member running with us.
Great people, love working with them. They always say, "Thank you for your business."
After you're injured at work, a lot of times the insurance company will attempt to call you, take statements. Don't speak to them until you speak with an experienced workers' compensation attorney.
The insurance company will attempt to settle your case for pennies on the dollar. Before you talk to the insurance company, call us first.
Our job is to make sure you get all the money you deserve.
Call Morgan, Collins, and Yeast. 1-800-55-WILDCAT.
And welcome back to WKYT News at noon.
The time for polls and mudslinging is almost over as the caucuses and primaries kick off in Iowa next Monday.
Edward Lawrence is in Washington, D.C. with what the candidates are doing to try to win over last-minute support.
With just 6 days to go until the first votes are cast in Iowa, presidential candidates can see the finish line.
We're in the final sprint. You know, this is now crunch time, right?
The latest poll out this morning shows Donald Trump has now regained a lead in Iowa, but Ted Cruz is within the margin of error, so Trump isn't pulling any punches, including his favorite jab, pointing out Cruz's birthplace.
The Canadian, the man from Canada. He could run right now for Prime Minister of Canada. He'd have no problem.
Cruz is hitting back with a series of TV ads, including this one, aimed at Iowa's evangelical voters.
I am pro-choice in every respect.
And Cruz says there's a reason the establishment is lining up behind the businessman.
Trump will cut a deal. Trump will expand government spending, expand the debt, continue the cronyism.
The Democratic side is just as tight, with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton in a dead heat. But Sanders has been gaining on Clinton in Iowa.
I think we are touching a nerve with the American people who understand that establishment politics is just not good enough.
Clinton tried to reassure one young voter that Republican attacks against her are because she's the real change candidate.
I've been on the front lines of change and progress since I was your age.
Clinton trails Sanders for young voters, but historically, that's a group that doesn't show up to caucus. Edward Lawrence for CBS News, Washington.
Now Hillary Clinton is sending her husband, President Bill Clinton, out on the campaign trail to stump for her in Iowa. That will begin on Thursday. And Ben & Jerry's co-founder has created a small batch of ice cream in honor of his favorite presidential candidate, who is Bernie Sanders. Ben Cohen made 40 pints of a flavor he calls Bernie's Yearning in his own kitchen. It's a mint-flavored ice cream with chocolate chips. He's giving away 25 pints of it in a contest run by Sanders' campaign. The contest ends at noon on February 3rd. The ice cream is branded as Ben's Best. It does not include a Ben & Jerry's logo on it, by the way. So there you go.
Limited edition.
Right. Some big names are stepping up to help up in Flint, Michigan.
Hollywood stars are sending bottled water to the Michigan city with a deadly water supply. Mark Wahlberg and Sean Diddy Combs, who co-own a beverage company, have pledged 1 million bottles. The first 5,000 cases are on the way. Cher has teamed up with another company to donate 181,000 bottles, while Jimmy Fallon has pledged $10,000 for clean water. And Detroit's own Big Sean has also started a fundraiser that's received more than 20 grand in donations.
A lot of folks stepping up. A very difficult situation there.
Yes, it is.
Well, crews are still working around the clock. They're trying to clear and widen the roads out from all the snow in Rockcastle County.
Our Mike Byer will have an update on the conditions coming up in a report on WKYT News at 12:30.
got a weak front moving through us, driving that rain out of the way and bringing in some colder temperatures. How cold are we looking the next few days, though? I'll have that coming up next.
Have something that needs investigating? Email us or call the WKYT Investigates tip line.
I chose Audibel.
I chose Audibel.
I chose Audibel for my hearing aid.
You should choose Audibel as well. For a free hearing evaluation, call Audibel today.
Helping you hear well, Audibel.
Hurt in a car accident?
We got you covered.
Hughes & Coleman made it simple.
All you do is call.
Car repairs, medical bills, gone.
The last thing you need now are bills.
I made that call.
Get the team that cares.
Hughes & Coleman took care of it all.
You've got questions, we've got answers.
And let me tell you, experience counts.
We get results.
Who are you gonna call?
What are you waiting for? 800-800-4600.
Who's your lawyer?
Regain your bathing independence with one-day bath by America's Window. Our walk-in tubs provide a safe and secure bathing experience with a low step-in and easy access. Hydrotherapy soothes muscles and improves circulation. Your walk-in tub can be installed in your existing bath space in as little as 1 day. Take advantage of our Winter Wonderland sale and get 60% off labor on your new walk-in tub with 100% financing and low monthly payments. Call right now.
Up to now, affording a beautiful smile has been, well, sketchy. So picture this. Doctors Durbin, Walks, and Garner are offering an unheard of offer. No down payment and only $175 for 24 months on orthodontic treatment. It's their way of saying thank you. Clear Choice Orthodontics is an elite provider of Invisalign, offers digital imaging, clear porcelains, and accepts most insurance. Affordable orthodontic treatment. Now that's something to smile about. Learn more at clearchoicesmile.com.
Are you ready for some great deals? The 2016 kickoff event is on at Adams Buick GMC Truck in Richmond. We have over 30 new Buick Encores available starting at just $20,995 or $279 a month. Get a new Buick Verano, $19,995. A new Buick Regal Turbo, $25,460. Or save $7,500 on a new Buick Enclave. Plus, get the Adams Advantage, a limited lifetime powertrain warranty. The 2016 kickoff event is on at Adams Buick GMC Truck in Richmond, where
Sid says sell them.
I chose Audibel.
I chose Audibel.
I chose Audibel for my hearing aid.
Call Audibel today for a free hearing evaluation. Audibel, helping Kentuckians hear well since 1962.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT. Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Pretty soggy conditions in the mountainous regions down in southeastern Kentucky. Other than that, all the rain has already moved by the rest of the region. So about 1/3 of our region still left over, trying to get rid of that rain. That front's pushing on through. What you're feeling back behind this front, some pretty cool air. Now, it's not extremely cold, but it's cool enough to feel a difference from this morning to this afternoon. Off into Kaywood, Harlan County, and then work your way into Middlesboro, Pineville as you travel down 25 east. The interchange, the connection there at 119, pretty soggy this afternoon. It's going to stay that way the next couple of hours. I would say 3 to 4 p.m. is when we start to see this rain move on out. But if you're traveling southbound, heading over the state border off into Jellicoe Mountain, just know with that mountain you're going up, you're going down. Yeah, watch out for some slippery slopes there. Also, Whitley City there, McCreary County, still dealing with some of that light rain. But here is the front. Back behind that, we have the dry conditions. Already dealt with the rain. In front of that, there is that rain, and it's slowly but surely, when you do not have strong fronts, this is a pretty weak system. When you don't have strong fronts, there's not a lot of kick trying to get it over the mountainous regions, the Appalachians, down toward the southeast. So it's just going to take a little bit of time, another few hours, and we'll call it quits there with the rain. Temperatures in the 30s. Started off in the 40s this morning, and we talked about it this morning, how these temperatures will actually take a dive as opposed to going up. That we typically see during the afternoon hours. Temperatures are in the 40s southeast. It's because the front has not pushed through. Once it does, you're going to feel what everybody else is feeling, and that's pretty chilly conditions. We go throughout the afternoon off into the night. We'll get rid of the rain, however, with this cloud deck laying around and also these temperatures, you may see a few flurries flying around. Nothing to be worried about. We'll go off into the night and into tomorrow morning. Just a cold start for those kids trying to get off to the bus stop. But all in all, yes, flurries can be flying. You just don't expect much out of it. So a colder feel after this front pushes through with those flurries overnight and into tomorrow morning. But after that, we're talking about some really really mild air taking over. I mean, it'll feel extremely nice. You're talking 40s there for Friday or Thursday and Friday. And also looking maybe for a few flakes there early Friday morning. But then we look towards your afternoon there on Saturday and off into Sunday. I mean, these are really nice days. That rain chance there on Sunday is only 20–30%. So much of your weekend is going to be dry, and not only dry, but I think the big news here is the 50s and maybe even, we'll see once we get a little bit closer, maybe even reaching 60 degrees. Music to our ears, right? 7-day forecast, 36 today. That rain's still down toward the southeast. About 3 to 4 p.m. it moves on out, and then tomorrow, maybe a few flurries, not a big issue. Thursday and Friday, mostly dry. We just can't rule out a few flakes on Friday. No issues out of that one either. Then the weekend, guys, this is what I'm excited about. I think a lot of people are excited about. Take a little bit of a break from the extreme weather and also the cold weather to bring in the 50s. Maybe a 60-degree reading. Pretty exciting.
It's going to be good. Huh?
All right.
A little taste of spring there. Okay,
thank you.
We'll enjoy. Coming back on WKYT in just a moment, the UK women win a thriller at the Coliseum over the Lady Vols.
And in the NBA, former Wildcat DeMarcus Cousins breaks out. Dave Baker's next with sports.
And checking stocks have been volatile lately, and here at midday, all the major market indicators are way up.
All right, where do you want me to start? Shotgun.
I'm driving.
Another shift at the Genius Factory, boys. On NZT, all my senses are enhanced. I can analyze data and patterns.
Congratulations, you've got yourself a suspect. He's reckless. I'm not saying he's the most mature person in the world.
I need to know that you take this seriously, and that T-shirt isn't helping.
Limitless, CBS Tonight, or stream it live or on demand.
When I'm lucky enough to meet you out in public, the question I'm most often asked is, what is Emma up to? So let me tell you. As usual, she stays busy investigating accident scenes, sniffing out evidence, and solving cases. But recently, she became a big sister. Meet Molly. Emma loves Molly. She doesn't know if she's her kid's sister or daughter. Unfortunately, she sometimes thinks she's the baby. When you write Emma, she'll write you back. Morgan & Morgan, for our dogs.
The bathroom is one of the most dangerous places in the home, so call One Day Bath by America's Window for a safe and secure way to bathe with a new walk-in tub. During our Winter Wonderland sale, get big savings with 60% off labor on your new walk-in tub. These savings are only for a limited time, so act now. Visit us at our showroom here in Lexington at 1190 East New Circle Road and browse 14 baths and showers on display. Regain your bathing independence with a new walk-in tub. With a low step-in, you have easy access, and the grab bar provides extra support. You can enjoy a hydrotherapy warm water massage with just a touch of a button, or check out new easy access showers installed in as little as 1 day. And remember, during our Winter Wonderland sale, get 60% off labor on your new walk-in tub with 100% financing and low monthly payments. Call now for your new walk-in tub and these big savings. Call 1-800-861-4153.
Sometimes it seems you spend your whole day on the go. But no matter where you go, you'll probably run into a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent. With agents in every Kentucky county, Farm Bureau is there for you, pretty much wherever you are. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
With all the medical bills and car repairs, things just aren't adding up. This can be so confusing.
The insurance company offer was barely enough to cover my medical bills, let alone my car repairs. They don't seem to care about the pain I'm in. I'm confused.
It doesn't have to be confusing. Just call Isaacs & Isaacs. I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs, the Hammer. And my firm will work hard to make sure you get everything you deserve.
Call the Hammer. There's a way to go down 255-3000.
Matthew Mitchell's first foray into collegiate coaching was as an assistant at Tennessee, and for decades the Lady Vols were the gold standard in the SEC. Last night, top 25 matchup between the Lady Vols and the Cats at the Coliseum. Holly Warlick in her fourth year coaching the Lady Vols, and boy, did her team come out shooting the three. And not only shooting, but hitting. How about Jordan Reynolds? gives Tennessee a 9-point lead. Lady Vols up 7 at the half. In the third, Michaela Epps turned it on. Driving, scoring. She cuts the Lady Vols lead to 4. Kentucky then takes the lead on a three-pointer by Taylor Murray. It's 43-42. Epps scored 14 points in the third. Cats go up by 5. In the final minute, Kentucky trying to hang on. How about Janae Thompson? Pull up. Cats back up by 4. 10 seconds left. Taya Cooper free throw to tie the game. Tennessee couldn't put it back in. As the seconds ticked off, the ball goes to Kentucky. But Tuli Kamara then missed 2 free throws, and Tennessee with a chance to win it. But Cooper on the drive really doesn't get the shot off. They said it didn't get off in time. And Kentucky hangs on to win a great basketball game, 64-63.
If Tennessee had made that layup and been 1 by 1, we'd have felt really, really bad, but we'd have been in the same boat that we're in right now. We got to come back and practice real hard tomorrow. We got to get better on these defenses that we're running and just improve.
NBA last night, boogie on down to DeMarcus Cousins. Kings down by 5. Under a minute to play, they make a late run. How about Cousins pumps, drives past the defense for the one-handed dunk. How about Rajon Rondo driving down the lane? Alley-oop. Cousins. Oh, look at the big fella. That cuts the lead to 1. And Cousins driving. 115-117. Cousins 56 points. Rondo 20 assists. But Cousins and the Kings lose to the Hornets 129-128. How about the All-A Classic Regional Finals in Frankfurt? Lexington Christian Academy starts the action. Kyle Rode. Boy, is he a good-looking player. Hits the 3. How about Frankfurt and the Panthers? Lighting it up early. Malik Frank with a serious drive to the basket. Frankfurt up by 11. More LCA. Trey King gets the layup to go. Nate Valentine's club at Lexington Christian Academy going back to the state tournament as they knock off Frankfurt by a count of 68-60. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider, Ryan Lemon will be sitting in for Dick Gabriel. A preview of Kentucky and Missouri. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, a little bit later, we'll hear from UK assistant coach Tony Barbee as he previews the Cats' battle with Missouri tomorrow night. That and more is coming up throughout the day. But for now, that's a look at sports on this Tuesday.
All right, Dave, thank you so much.
And there's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
Kentucky fans are proving they bleed blue in a friendly competition against Florida.
I'm Sean Moody in Frankfurt. Coming up on WKYT News at 12:30. After weeks of speculation, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray has filed to run for Senate.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $48 million. And tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is $75 million.